Studies by Kaylee D. Moore, one of the things that was most discussed in Chapter 10 was lectures. Lectures can be geared toward any age student, but they are primarily geared towards the older students. You have to be careful when lecturing younger students just because all students' focus lacks. No student can focus for an extended period of time. It's recommended about 20 minutes to lecture. So most kids' attention span's not that long. So it makes it very difficult for them to pay attention and to follow along. And if you're going to a lecture, you need to make sure that it's a way for all the students to be involved, whether their cognitive abilities or age match. A way to go about planning your lecture would be to make sure that it's clear and persuasive. Effective instructional strategies said the most successful lectures should be relatively short. And then they go on to elaborate, limit your lectures to short periods of time and periodically change to other activities. So when planning your lecture, make sure that it's not super long, it's not super draggy, and that you have other things in between transition too. You can have a 30-minute lecture, but if you're going to do a 30-minute lecture, make sure you flip back and forth between group discussions, peer discussions, hands-on activities, just anything. A way to tell if the lecture was effective is you could do a verbal assessment, so ask questions to the class, see what information they retained, what information they didn't, what you might need to go over again, or what you might need to reteach. You could do exit slips and see who grasped the knowledge, who didn't, because if you have 7 students that grasped the concepts and 12 students that didn't, lecturing may not be the best way to go about things in your class. If you're going to lecture, the book says a good planning formula to follow would be tell the students what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you have told them. So to make sure that you have properly applied this practice, do these things and then use the assessments afterwards. And if you did it well, the students will be able to logically answer your questions and be confident in their answers. When you are giving a lecture, make sure you wrap it up formally and introduce it formally. Those are 2 important things. And when you're delivering the lecture, make sure that you're clear and concise and you give time for the students to listen to what you have to say. Some things you may have to repeat more than once, and if you're asking them questions while lecturing, make sure you give them time to actually think about it. Don't just rush to the next thing or answer the question for them.